Lake Michigan ranks among the largest and most enigmatic freshwater bodies in the U.S. Recently, scientists discovered something baffling deep beneath its surface: vast, circular depressions scattered across the lakebed. This all began in 2022 when a group of researchers set out to map the lake's floor and search for shipwrecks. Initially, they expected to find typical rocky landscapes or sandy areas, but the sonar data revealed something startling: unusual circular shapes, too perfect to be naturally occurring. These formations, located about 500 feet below the surface in the lake's darkest, most impenetrable waters, were massive, ranging from 300 to 600 feet in diameter and plunging nearly 40 feet deep. There were dozens of them, arranged in a pattern that resembled footprints, but the team couldn't explain what they were. Then, in August 2024, the mystery only deepened. Using a remotely operated vehicle, they got a closer look at these formations, about 40 of them in total. No one had ever seen anything like it in the Great Lakes. What could have caused these craters? Could they be ancient, possibly remnants of a long-forgotten geological event? If that's the case, it's strange how these holes have remained undisturbed for so long. Theories began to emerge. One possibility was that these could be sinkholes, which form when the Earth's surface collapses over dissolved rock, creating large voids underground. These voids can eventually cause the ground above to cave in. Sinkholes can be small, or they can be massive, stretching up to 2,000 feet in diameter. They can appear gradually or suddenly, sometimes swallowing entire cars or buildings. Lake Michigan sits on a limestone bedrock that erodes easily when water flows through it. Sinkholes of a similar nature have been found in Lake Huron, though there are some issues with this theory. For one, it's unusual for sinkholes to be so large, and it's rare for them to occur in lake beds. Additionally, the craters seem to form in a roughly southward line, which doesn't follow typical sinkhole patterns. This suggests there may be an unknown process beneath the lake's surface. Another theory involves glaciers. These massive rivers of ice, which once covered much of the Earth during the last ice age, have the power to reshape landscapes over millennia. Although glaciers move slowly, their immense weight allows them to grind and carve the land beneath them. In the Great Lakes region, glaciers could have scraped out these deep depressions, known as glacial troughs. The ice likely moved in a straight line, eroding the terrain unevenly. Softer or fractured bedrock would have been more easily eroded, potentially explaining why some craters are larger and deeper than others. However, glacial erosion typically produces crescent-shaped depressions, not the circular craters found in Lake Michigan. After the glaciers melted, the Great Lakes formed, and these craters may have filled with water, becoming part of the lake. This theory is speculative, though, and more evidence is needed. There's another layer to this enigma. These craters may not only be geological curiosities. They could provide valuable clues about early life on Earth. Parts of Lake Michigan, especially the darker areas, are low in oxygen, similar to deep ocean environments that often have little of this essential element. For example, hydrothermal vents deep in the ocean, underwater openings in the Earth's crust rich in hot minerals, offer a glimpse into how life could have originated in such extreme conditions. Aquatic areas with minimal oxygen levels are prime habitats for certain creatures. For instance, the possum shrimp, minuscule shrimp-like beings that thrive in cold, deep waters. They're named for their pouches, where they carry their young until they're ready to be independent. Much like the deep-water sculpin, a small fish dwelling on the lake floor in icy environments. These fish are well suited for life in dark waters, sticking close to the lakebed. Also found in these regions are invasive quagga mussels, small freshwater mussels resembling shells. These mussels have spread throughout the Great Lakes, attaching to hard surfaces and competing with native species for space and food, causing ecological disruption. It's possible these organisms, and perhaps more, are present in Lake Michigan. There might even be specialized microbes or bacteria that have adapted to such harsh conditions. Similar findings have been made in Lake Huron, where only a few species can survive in the deep, oxygen-deprived craters. Studying these organisms could offer insights into how life once thrived in Earth's ancient oceans, which were also low in oxygen. The Great Lakes, particularly Lake Michigan, have long been shrouded in mystery. The region has gained a ghostly reputation, with around 6,000 shipwrecks scattered across the lakes, many of which remain intact at the bottom, preserved by the cold, fresh water. But shipwrecks aren't the only peculiar phenomenon associated with these waters. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of unexplained disappearances, boats, and even planes vanishing without a trace. Despite often appearing calm, the surface of these lakes can become dangerously turbulent, with sudden storms and massive waves contributing to these strange occurrences. Additionally, there have been sightings of eerie lights above the water and strange weather patterns, such as fogs that seem to materialize out of nowhere. In 2007, a prehistoric structure was discovered in the Great Lakes that resembled Stonehenge, although it was much smaller. This structure, located around 40 feet below the surface in Grand Traverse Bay, is believed to be approximately 9,000 years old, predating Stonehenge. The arrangement of these massive stones forms a winding pattern stretching over a mile, with sizes varying from basketballs to compact cars. One particular boulder stands out, about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, 5 feet wide, etched with the image of a mastodon, a creature that roamed the earth over 11,000 years ago before becoming extinct. It likely sank to the bottom at the end of the last ice age, a time when the region was reshaped. Although this site is now submerged, it was once dry land, suggesting the stones were placed by people who lived in the area. However, their purpose remains a mystery. Were they used as hunting blinds, or perhaps as an ancient form of calendar? To date, only 15% of the Great Lakes floors have been explored. Scientists are preparing for a more thorough investigation, both literally and figuratively, into this enigma. They aim to analyze the lake bed surrounding these craters, hoping to discover if environmental factors may have contributed to their formation. Projects like Lake Bed 2030 are focused on mapping the entire underwater landscape. This could reveal fascinating details about Lake Michigan and the history of our planet. Who knows what other secrets lie hidden in these dark, mysterious waters?